28th of November 2023. This is another Loose Cannon episode, and this one is loaded with cluster ammunition. A lot of people are going to be fucking upset about this thing, but we have to look at the facts. Fuck the feelings, that's for sure. We have to look at the facts. The first thing that I need to put on the table for you to digest: XXX is evil, and they're only focused on control and money, and they need control over everything and everybody. They've also stated clearly 85% of the world population must go. That is public knowledge. Now, to get an idea of how evil they are, take a good look at what they did in the Middle East. They've killed 11 million people. In Iraq, we have the numbers, they killed 500,000 children. And Madeleine Albright said, when asked about it, she responded, it was a difficult decision, but it was worth it. What was worth it? For the global capital to get control over the oil fields of the Middle East. The main resistor there was Iran, and then you had the Saudis playing with them. But the Saudis have now turned their back on them, and Iran is stronger than ever. But the bottom line is they killed 11 million people there. They killed a hell of a lot of people in Libya. They killed a hell of a lot of people in Czechoslovakia to balkanize that country. They killed a lot of people in Bosnia. They're busy killing a hell of a lot of people in Ukraine. Now, what you have to understand, they act as if they care about Ukraine. And the reality is they care about the physical Ukraine. They feel fuck all for the people. They're busy wiping out the Ukrainian population. Putin put a sprag in their wheels by taking the Donbass and protecting the Russians there. So they can't get their killing done on the Russians. But since 2014 until 2022, they killed 15,000 people in the Donbass. Now, these numbers may mean nothing to you because you cannot really grasp the numbers. But you have to go and look at how their political manipulation and military interventions have killed people in Africa, in the Far East, in Central Asia, and in South America. If you calculate all those numbers, it is enormous numbers. Why do I mention these things? For the simple reason that XXX is busy with their move to get control over South Africa. They need control over South Africa's resources. But they have cleverly manipulated the population so that the whole South African population is in constant conflict while they are stealing like hell. And for them to really take a country, they need a revolution, because in that chaos, the government of the countries collapse And they have the perfect excuse to send in their peacekeepers. Don't forget that. Now, in South Africa, they've been planning this for a long time. We all know it. Their main aim is first to get rid of the whites, specifically the Boere, because they know that the Boere can resist them and can resist them successfully. We did it with England during the Anglo-Boer War, and then they reverted to that slaughter of our children and women and burning everything down, the farms and everything. But the black people don't take note of that. They don't take note of that. And they gladly jumped onto the wagon in '94 with the onslaught on the whites. And they were so focused on the whites that they didn't see what the fuck is happening in their own community. The SASA baby grant was brought in with a plan, and I have done skid marks on it. The SASA generation was bred for a purpose. Now, you must understand, XXX is super business people. They don't like liabilities and they don't like overheads. They like profits. Now you must ask yourself, why did they breed about 25 million people? Zero investment in their education, zero investment in their skills, and zero provision for job opportunities for them. Why were they bred? Because those people will be a lifelong liability on XXX. And they are not going to take that liability. Now, they need that brigade for one thing, and that is for creating the chaos. And now you're a black person, just think back a bit. Whenever there are riots and things, how much damage and destruction and killing does that SASA brigade do in your own communities? How many? How much? How brutal? They don't give a fuck whether you're black or white or what. They just destroy. And they're undisciplined, you know that. So, you, the more intelligent and responsible blacks, must understand that SASA generation is just as dangerous to you as that generation is to me. You have to keep that in mind. Then you must take another look. Why was the civil service destroyed? Why? There is not a single government department that is functioning. Not one. There is not a single SOE functioning anymore. The last one is Eskom. That is still a little bit hanging on for dear life. Eskom is the last one that has got value. But they need that value in their hands, total control of XXX. And Cyril is doing it for them by playing that green energy card. He is destroying Eskom's ability to be profitable. Why is he doing that? Because by terrorizing the population with the load shedding, we get to a point where we only want the load shedding to be gone. That's all we want. And if he comes tomorrow and says, I've got a buyer, load shedding will be gone, the population, the majority of the population will agree. Okay. Then that is the last big thing. But why is Eskom so important? Well, the simple reason that with Eskom, they control the whole region with a switch. That's why they are so frantic to get their hands on Eskom. And the blacks, they like to say they're the majority, which they are. They allowed Cyril to do this. But they think they are going to be better off. When Malema says he wants to collapse the white economy, what does he actually mean? He's not talking about Jan's engineering shop that has got 6 workers, and Piet's butchery, and Tansani's bakery, or none of that. That's not what he's after. He's after the banks, big supermarket chains, all of that. That is what he wants to collapse. Those are the people that employ thousands, millions. They employ millions. He wants that destroyed. Now, look at this, the result. The civil service is already destroyed. Now he wants to destroy the main core of the economy. And he calls it a white economy. But it's a corporate economy, actually. The harbour collapsing, the harbours, all the collapses of the harbours and the rail system is all part of the plan to turn South Africa into a, let's call it a scrap heap. Because balkanization is their ultimate goal. Now, for those that don't understand balkanization, it means they're going to break the country up into smaller regions. How many it will be, we don't know. I'm not so sure how many it will be. Because they can control the smaller regions easily, but they're not after all the regions. They're after the mining regions, and they're after the harbour regions and the Western Cape with its oil and gas reserves. That's what they're after. The rest of the country, they don't give a fuck. It can go to for shit. They don't care. But the problem is, a lot of people live in those pieces that they're not so worried about. What is going to happen to those people there? They have got a military base 40 kilometers across the Botswana border. There's eight American stealth bombers there. Now, if you see what they're doing in Gaza, you see that. They don't give a fuck for the people. They just bomb the place to pieces. And it is strong concrete buildings. Imagine they start bombing the squatter camps. Just imagine the devastation. Just imagine. But they have this problem that they need to resolve for the future. And that is that 25 million Sassa Brigade. That is useless eaters in their definition. So once that Sassa Brigade has stirred up the violence and riots and makes the government collapse, it's already planned that the government will collapse. And I'm sure they have got all their backup plans in place for that. That cadres that has been helping them to fuck everything up, they are looked after and they will be sorted out. But it's a handful, it's not many. So the collapse of the government was planned. And the moment that the riots breaks out, the government will voluntarily collapse. And that is when the peacekeepers can come in. And then it's going to be over. I said to a guy that I'm in discussions with, I said to him, the black nation does not understand the danger in which they are. They don't understand it. Because they're absolutely blinded and singularly focused on white people is their problem. That is the big problem. They're totally unaware of the bigger picture. Now, I have information from ethnic groups that are totally aware of what Triple X is planning. And they are not going to go down without a fight. And what you ANC supporters and EFF supporters must understand, for the patriots, you are part of the destructive team of Triple X. They're going to sort you out. And you know how they sort out. So, you better shake your head, let the shit fall out of your ears and start listening. Your destruction is planned in front of your eyes. And the fucking sad part is, you're helping building your own destruction. But Moses 6 verse 6, stupid people must suffer. That is there. And all I want to know is, where are the responsible, intelligent blacks? Why are they not seeing this and take action? I can't understand. But look, it's like in every population. Every population has got bright people, and they've got dumb people, and they've got strong people, and then they've got really bad people. Every population has it. And unfortunately, due to the numbers of the black population, their portion of the really bad people is a hell of a lot of people. And those have all been gathered together in this criminal cabal that is busy fucking the country up. I spoke to a guy this morning. What do you think is your chances of ever rebuilding the SOEs, rebuilding the civil service, rebuilding the Transnet? What are your chances? Don't fucking dream, be realistic. I've got a connection in the maritime business. He said the main problem on at the harbours is, first of all, the people are unskilled. Secondly, they're undisciplined. Thirdly, the unions keep on making it almost impossible for the whole operation to be effective and efficient. And you were very happy about the unions. But look where are South Africa today because of the unions. I see that Volkswagen and BMW and Ford has given Cyril notice. They're going to pull out of the country. Think about that. If those three pull out of the country, how many jobs are going to be lost? The worst part of it all is they take their investment with them. And what you black guys must understand, you have been warned about the fourth industrial revolution. And Klaus Schwab and his cronies talk about it a lot. You want to tell me, yeah, but they need the labor. They fucking don't need the labor. They don't need it. Robots are going to do all the things. I watched a video 2-3 days ago of not a big farmer, a small farmer in China. He and his wife and 2 workers are growing a hell of a lot of crop. What is their main production equipment? Drones. These big drones. That drone patrols the fields. And if he sees there's plants that needs fertilization, he fertilizes. If he sees weeds, he sprays that weed specifically, one plant by one plant. No more total overall airplane coming in and spray and tractor going through and throwing fertilizers everywhere. They do it selectively to get maximum return from their effort. But the key is that guy handles his farm with 2 workers and 2 drones. Go and look at the modern factories. Robots doing most of the work. Agriculture. You need to go and investigate how many automated agricultural equipment is out there. You now get tractors that are totally driverless. An operator programs the tractor for a specific task, and then it goes. That tractor keeps on going, all on its own, guided by GPS and instructed what to do where. They don't need those workers. They don't need those workers. And of course, you must never forget, 85% of the world's population must go according to their plan. So they're not going to need so much food. Yeah, they're now harassing us. And then the last thing what the blacks must take note of, because it seems to me you do not understand. Do you think the pollution of the rivers is without a plan? Why are the rivers being polluted? So that you in the rural area cannot use that water that runs past your village. Because that water is going to be unsuitable for consumption. That's what they're doing. You guys in the cities, your taps will dry up and you're going to be without water. Where the fuck are you going to get water? You can go 28 days without food. You can't go more than 3 days without water. So, the demise of the population is well planned. And they're fucking around with the food. How? With the water qualities that's gone down so low, and the load shedding. The irrigation farmers has got a major problem. There are farmers that are reporting that their crop productions has dropped by 70%. Think about that. You think your food comes from Checkers or from Spar. That's not, well, you're in for a surprise. But you must understand, Malema is going to make sure that those supermarkets and things will be destroyed. So you're going to wake up one morning, no power, no cell phone, no electricity, no water, no fuel. Think about that day. Please give me a like and a subscribe and share the thing. Thank you for your support.